gentlemen, we're gonna party.
Alright, we about to start. What's up, y'all? So I'm watching. I was gonna do another topic today, but I'm gonna save today's topic for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna talk about the fall of Elon Musk and on YouTube, and then on Patreon I'm probably gonna have Dr. Randy Short to really drive it home. But I was, you get the autoplay, and the Joe and Jada show started autoplaying, and I'm not subscribed to it, but it started autoplaying on this clip that I'm about to show you guys right now. I'm not gonna show you guys the whole clip, but basically, towards the end of it, Fat Joe, issued a challenge to podcasters saying that to call him on his cap. He said he don't be capping, and he threw up a bunch of straw arguments on things we don't say he caps about, and then he got real aggressive. And so I want to play this for y'all, and then when I'm done playing it, what we gonna do is we gonna talk. Let me play it first, and then what we gonna do is we gonna come back and we gonna talk about it. Let me minimize this screen down here so I'm not on no track or nothing like that. But I put it here in the background, and I will speed it up a little bit to 1.25. No, not sleep. No, I don't want no damn sleep timer. What kind of shit is that? You niggas need sleep timers on y'all YouTube? Playback speed. There we go. All right, let's listen to this cap, and then we're gonna play it line by line. All right.
When I went,
shot the video, was out it.
I'll try to keep this conversation non-controversial. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know why.
Got a Crazy Joe.
I want to sit down.
Let's go, Crazy Joe.
Nah, listen, I want to sit down with a podcaster that has 3 followers who think he know, and because they sit down, yo, this guy's cap. I want to sit down next to one of them in their NYCHA apartment when they shoot. I'm gonna walk in the NYCHA, right?
You see how he always takes it back to material possessions? This is a young man that doesn't know himself. But let's keep going.
And sit next to him. Because I don't think people truly understand. I'm a project baby for real. I'm from the projects. The soil of soil. I don't know what, I'm trying to verify. Where's the cap?
I'm rewinded to it.
Project. Can't do nothing. Looking there, and I'm really looking at guys calling me a capper or this or that. I want to sit next to one of these guys and say, break down the cap. Because when I say shit, I said I did records with Big. Everybody.
If you're buffering, refresh. If you're buffering.
If you're really from the projects, some of these guys are so horrible on these podcasts that they're not even garbage. Dumpster juice. Your shit like the gook that come out the bottom of the dumpster. Don't compare yourself to us. We need 800 episodes. I'm talking prematurely. But yo, I'm not used to number 2. We gotta go number 1. We went number 1 on Apple off 1 EP.
This shit is new, Joe. We new, man. We gotta be humble and thankful, man.
I'm humble, but
I don't know what the fuck going on. This shit is buffering. Twitter's good. YouTube is buffering. I'm saying Twitter. People on Twitter saying it's okay. People on YouTube saying it's buffering. YouTube, make sure you refresh your shit. Twitter seems to be okay. It's some YouTube shit. Twitter seems to be fine. So make sure y'all refresh if you're on YouTube. I don't know what the fuck going on because I'm on my landline. Okay, you said now it's kind of working? You said y'all good now? You said you close out the video and hop back on, Spirit Wonder? All right, cool. Spirit Wonder said closing out the video, hopping back on work for him. So make sure y'all do that. There we go. What's up, Rocky? Oh, yeah, Rocky did one last treat. There you go, homie. All right.
Say my name. You shy? I said, if they don't say my name,
Oh, they say my name because they think
but they
think your way up.
Listen,
They think your way up. They wouldn't say my name 10 years ago, 15 years ago when we was running around giving the beats to their favorite rappers. Now they say
That's the part I wanted to get to. Right there. That's the part I want to get to. Fat Joe over here talking about, okay, where's the cap? And then going around bragging about, you wouldn't have said that when I was giving the beats. Why is it between like him? Why is it with all these Puerto Ricans in hip hop? Why do y'all want to resort to fighting? You got crazy legs that want to fight. Why does it always end up in that? Whatever happened to rhetorical debate? Whatever happened to discourse? Having a conversation? The issue isn't over street business, Fat Joe. The issue is over the conversation. And when it comes down to it, you be capping. And not on no street shit. I don't know what happened on the streets. I don't know what happened in the studio. It was your peers. It wasn't podcasters saying that you were capping on the whole thing with Biggie. It was your peers. It was producers. It was rappers. These weren't podcasters. These were your peers. Okay? But the capping, to be clear, it comes into how you talk about hip hop. And the little you know about hip hop. The little you know. So let's break it on down even more. First off, again, thank you, chat room. I appreciate y'all for joining. And let me address answer this question right here. You know, this is I'll see you in the chat sometimes. Don't trip. But this is the last thing I ever want to see in the chat room when I type, when I talk. Ignore. If I'm talking about someone, not going to ignore them just because someone in the chat asked me to. There's a reason why I do what I do. And if this isn't the topic for you, then that's cool too, because I talk about a lot of shit. And every topic I talk about, I understand ain't gonna be for everybody. When I talked about Michael Jordan not being the GOAT last night, that pissed a lot of people off. Y'all think I only know music, I know basketball even more. Because I've actually coached players to the NBA. You haven't. I have a whole life off the internet. So everything I say ain't gonna be for everybody. But if I talk about it, it's for a reason. And I've explained it before and I'll explain it again. When it comes to people who attack black culture, ignoring people has never worked for black people. Not once. Why are people in their 40s and 50s just now really truly understanding that country music is our music? Why do black people gotta wait until they do some research or take a class or watch a TikTok video to find out all of the great things we've done in this country? Why is that? It's because we don't talk about it. We ignore. People come in on our shit, sit on our couch, kick their feet up like they Rick James, and say, fuck your couch, fuck your couch. Then our kids got to come clean the couch. And then while they're cleaning the couch, they don't even know that's their couch. So please, don't ever come in the chat and say don't talk about fill in the blank. I talk about what I talk about for a reason. You dig? Thank you, Jerome Jenkins. MJ was definitely as manufactured as LeBron. The rules were changed to complement MJ. Exactly. But you talk to a Jordan stan, the first thing they're going to say is, well, he was 6-0 in the finals. Shut up. Get out of here. Magic would have been 9-0 if he didn't have to go up against Larry Bird and goddamn Moses Malone and Isaiah Thomas. Shit. Whatever. Let's stick to this topic. But you're right, Jerome. So, come on, Rocky. We good. Ain't no more treats, homie. Ain't no more treats. So back to what we're talking about here with the Joe and Jada show. So this is just a 13-minute clip of this video. It was another part that was played earlier in the video that proves how little he understands about hip hop. So let's break it down. Let's play this part again.
It was.
You know, when I went,
Shot the video. Was out of it.
no, 3 followers who think he know. And because they sit down, yo, this guy's cap, but I want to sit down next to one of them. They should really understand, I'm a project baby for real. I'm from the
That's part one address. I'm from the projects.
projects. To saw you.
This is one thing that people who are not from our culture don't understand. The projects, the ghetto, the hood, these are environments that Black Americans were thrown in. It's not when we create what we created for ourselves. We, the people from the roots, from the soil, we don't identify with that. We know that's what it is. But just because projects have been, over the last 60 years, synonymous with Black people. So Fat Joe saying he's from the projects is different than when we say we're from the projects. When Black people talk about being from the projects or being from the hood, they're talking about a particular street business going on or the environment that they were in. When someone like a Fat Joe talks about being from the projects, he's talking about it as his proximity to Black people. That's the difference. We talk about being from the ghettos, from the other side, from the underbelly side of town, to identify a marker in the side of the town where we're from. They say it to identify their proximity to Black people. Because they identify Black with hood. They identify Black with projects. I've had that a few times with different Latinos over the years, to where when I told different Latinos over the years, you can't say nigga around me, the first thing they say is, I'm from the hood too. So? You still can't say nigga around me. I'm a 50-50 nigga. Shit, I spent 50-50. I spent 70% of my childhood in the hood. 30% in the Black good neighborhood. I've stayed in Black on the east of the 110. I've stayed in Black neighborhoods on the top of the hill with a view of the city. Black is Black. Living in the projects doesn't identify Black. The Black people in Ladera Heights and View Park are just as Black as the Black people on Main Street and Gage. What's going on, Rocky? Rocky, see, look, Rocky, ain't no more food. See, Rocky over here thinking I still got snacks up here. Ain't no more snacks, homie. Look, you see any snacks? All you see is a lighter. That's all you see. Ain't no snacks over here, homie. All right? Shit. Ass down. All right, there we go. Now go to sleep. So anyway, they identify hood with their proximity to black people. And they'll say that every time they use the N-word. Let's keep going.
You of soil. You know, you can't do nothing to Fat Joe. If you go look him up, street, you can't not say, I'm be looking there and I'm really looking at guys calling me a capper or this or that. I want to sit next to one of these guys and say, break down the cap. Because when I say shit, you know, I said I did records.
Break down the cap. Black people and Latinos created hip-hop 50-50. That's the cap that got us on your ass, Fat Joe. What's the cap? Oh, it's just a bunch of broke niggas. Huh? That's the cap. The cap is going around and displacing and rewriting the history of hip-hop. That's the cap. Those were your peers that said you didn't have a verse with Biggie. You didn't do it because you said you did a whole album with Biggie. That was your peers that said you didn't do that. That wasn't the people. And I think, I bet he won't debate me. Hey, but here's the thing. Cuban Link is looking for you. Debate him. Lord Jamar. Remember, y'all go back and check. Last summer, Lord Jamar came out and straight up said he issued a challenge to Crazy Legs, to Fat Joe, to Busta Rhymes. He issued a challenge for a debate. He issued a challenge for a debate. Fat Joe didn't answer. Remember that. Also, quick commercial break. And we'll get right back to it. Quick commercial break. Go to DewanB.com. I have the Black Music Family Tree. Let me see here. We have the Black Music Family Tree. We're about to do a sale pretty soon on this website. But the sale's only through email. You're only gonna get the sale price through email. We got the Juneteenth t-shirts coming that are up now on the website. June is Black Music Month. We will be celebrating Black Music Month all month on this channel, and especially on my Patreon. Especially on Patreon, we're gonna be celebrating Black Music Month because over there I get to play the music. And also Black Music Month only. I will sign my Black American Music Family Tree, the canvas and the poster paper. If you want a signed edition from me, I'll also be issuing these with authenticity letters because there's only like 2 signed versions of my tree that are out there. I'm going to limit the number. I want to limit it to about 30. I want to limit to 30. I may go to 50 depending on demand, but I'm not going to cross 50. I want to sign my Black American Music Family Tree. So anybody who want a signed copy of that, email me info@dewanb.com if you want a signed copy of it. I'm going to limit it. I don't want to sell too many of them. I want to keep it around maybe 30, probably 30 max. May go to 50. So you got to email me info@dewanb.com if you want a copy of the Black American Music Family Tree that is signed. All right. So anyway, back to Cap Joe. He's talking about this kind of stuff. And the reason why I talk about this is because if you ask me, it's serious. I spent way too many years working with Black kids and Black people and seeing the after effect of teaching knowledge of self. Knowledge of self goes so far in the upliftment of a group of people. Knowledge of self, that'll then change how you participate politically. Knowledge of self teaches you and trains you how to move through society differently. Do people, like, especially to the people who say ignore stuff, like people like Fat Joe, do you understand there's a cause and effect relationship between what we think we know about ourselves and how we behave? When a group, for instance, let's take example, the term African American. I don't argue with people what they should say, but I tell you why I use the term black and I don't use the term African American. Because I understand words. When I put African before American, inherently, subconsciously, that disconnects me from this land. I'm not asking about what was going on here for the last 500 years. I'm not looking to reach out to my ancestors that were here and died on this soil right here. And I don't, in a lot of ways, feel entitled to any kind of reparation. It's so many things that we don't connect to when you put another landmass over the landmass where you are. You have a different connection to the land. When you call yourself, you can call yourself whatever you want. ADOS, FBA, Negro, Freedman. But as long as you understand whatever that is, you're American, black. I call myself Black American. In that, I understand that the United States of America is my land. It's a land that's being occupied right now by a bunch of invaders, but this is still my land. How I identify myself plays a difference in my relationship to the land that I'm on. Second of all, I understand language and the power of fiat, and words have the power that you assign to them. So me personally, I don't have a negative connection to the word black. A lot of black people do. That's why they like using terms like, not everybody, but that's oftentimes why they like using terms like African American and all this other stuff. There's a negative connotation with the word black. You know, if you have the same connotation that the Caucasian has with the word black, you think evil, you think dark, bad, corrupt, vicious, violent. Those are the terms that they associate with black. But knowledge of self and knowledge of my immediate environment, what do I see? I got some neighbors that got some beautiful plants that are outside. I don't do plants, but I appreciate my neighbors' plants. What do I see those plants grow out of? What color is that soil? What color is the universe when I look up at night and I see those stars poking out? We don't see Sirius anymore, but right now you can still see Arcturus up there in the sky, Vega. Summertime, that means Vega's up there. You know, you see these different planetary alignments. What color is that sky? What color is the womb a baby comes out of? What's back there? What's the color that all colors come from? So my association with black is the soil, the originator, the beginning. But that's because I've taken time to understand my environment and not listen to what a group of corrupt people have to say about a term and use my own observations for that term. And why am I saying all this stuff? I'm saying this because when you get people that come around that try to tell you down is up and up is down, you got to address it. Because there was once upon a time somebody that came around and told you sometime during the 1930s and 40s that you're not original to this land. And you believed it. And they kept saying it, and they kept saying it. And after a while, tell a lie long enough, loud enough, what? It becomes the truth. How many Negroes and black people who look just like you will tell you all your music is African? And then all it takes is just a surface level research of what jazz is and all that stuff. You realize you ain't a goddamn thing African about it. But tell a lie loud enough, long enough, it becomes the truth. So when you get people who are backed by powerhouse companies like Roc Nation, who Fat Joe is, when you get these people to go out and lie on the history and what it is you are and the culture, that's something that must be met with a counter narrative. I don't know Fat Joe personally, so I can't tell you about the man. I don't give a shit about anything he's doing or any of that. My issue is the stepping on the culture of the Black American that my grandparents and great-great-great-grandparents and great-great-great-great-great-grandparents fought so hard to build. And my family that went through that ethnogenesis of what it means to be a Black American, a Negro, a mulatto, a Melungeon, an Indian in America, when they were calling themselves these different things in the 1870s and the 1880s, and then realized by the 19-teens, hey, whether we mulatto, Melungeon, Negro, freedmen, we are one. And my family went through that, and along with going through that ethnogenesis, they passed down to me the sound of ragtime, which too many Black people did not know was ours. Why? Because too many Black people say, hey, let it go. They passed down to us the sound of the stride sound, bebop, modal. They passed down to us rockabilly blues, Delta blues, and Mississippi blues, Kansas City blues. And they passed down all this stuff. And only thing I ask for somebody like a Fat Joe is just leave us the fuck alone. Stop stepping on our history. Educate yourself, brother. Educate yourself. Stop talking so damn much and listen to somebody. Because, like, to show you how little he understands about the culture, listen to what right here. Earlier in the same podcast, they got to talking about the difference between the MC and the rapper. Where's that timestamp? Is it here? Let me see here. Let me see here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Watch this exchange. Let me see here. Where is it? All right, the 49 marker. 49, here we go.
That Biggie and Jay-Z, both his mans, and Biggie would be like, yo, why you say Jay-Z? But he used to tell Biggie that Jay-Z's better than him, right? And Biggie would be like, how you think he nicer than me? He'd be like, yo, because you a rapper. He's an MC. He's like a poet. He could, this is early Jay-Z, before all the hits. He's a poet, whatever the case may be. And so, to me, the difference of an MC and a rapper is an MC, or you got your hand on the third rail. Talib Kweli, Jadakiss, Common. These are KRS MCs. Rappers What he's referring to is the guys on Billboard that crossed over and we think they commercial. What do you think about that argument right there that he was having between Big and Jay-Z?
This dude don't even know what an MC means. An MC is a master of ceremonies. An MC is someone, Fat Joe, for your education, and Jadakiss gave him some education, but just pay attention, y'all. This is the dude they got marching around the country teaching y'all the history of hip hop. First off, a couple months ago, we talked about KRS-One. New York, y'all looking bad, man. I'm sorry to say it. Y'all looking bad. Hopefully y'all Knicks win. Yeah, Nick go Knicks, but come on. Just a couple months ago, you had KRS-One on the Dr. Green Thumb show with Be Real. And he's been marching around this country talking hip-hop history for 40 years. And he didn't even know about Uncle Jam's Army. A concert series that flew in the likes of LL Cool J and Run DMC and in front of a packed stadium of 10, 15,000 people. And been teaching the history of hip-hop without even knowing anything about LA and the massive movements that was going on. And then you got another person that's been teaching hip-hop who don't know the difference between a rapper and an MC. An MC is somebody that can engage the crowd, somebody that does more than just rap. They can talk, they can feel, they can be there, they can be in the world, be in the pocket. What's up? That's an MC. They control the whole show. A rapper is an artist that raps poetic lines and that raps poetry over music. Every rapper is not an MC. Every rapper can't just come and do. Some people just good at fucking rapping. They're not gonna do all that other stuff. Some people are great at controlling the crowd, but they may not be the best rappers. But most rappers are a combination of the two. But somebody who goes around saying, what do I be he literally 5 minutes after not knowing the difference between the MC and a rapper asked, people say I cap. What do I cap about? I get it. I don't think this brother know he be wrong. I think he just makes shit up in his head and he teaches it convincingly. And chat room, hit the like button. Press subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Where Big was like, yo, I'm nicer than Son. But he was like, nah, Jay nicer than you. He's an MC. Of course, this is before success. What do you think the difference between an MC and a rapper is?
I think an MC is just what it means. You feature, you can do it all. A rapper is just playing with words. The ability to put words together. An MC can control the crowd. He can have the crowd in his hands. He can engage with the crowd.
Yeah, but Nelly,
not
he
just
does
even
stadium.
the crowd with just.
Hey, it's all about the money.
Jadakiss just gave him the game. You can tell he didn't listen to a goddamn thing he just said. He just waiting to reply. Like Nelly said, hey, let's see the money. Jada's giving you the game, bro. Just listen to him.
You're going into being an entertainer. You know what I mean? Is it an entertainer? Is it a rapper? Is it MC?
Or is it songwriter?
Now you got,
you got
people that wrote the song that you never even see.
Dear Mama.
Yeah, Pac was everything.
That's
actor,
a fucking
dancer, rap. Pac had it all.
It's a songwriter in the game. You got guys like Hove, who I Love the Dough was talking about, we got the hottest V's, then we play Monopoly with real cash, and then Big come up.
He went right back in and, was you there? Jada, and this is what I mean. I mean, bruh, This nigga Jimmy Slim Drink said free Jada. Look, y'all. Look, I'm not making this up. I'm using him as an example of I'm only bringing this up because in this, what we saw short earlier, he's asking people where do he be capping. This is where you don't even know what you're talking about.
Lawsuit, I'm gonna get a color.
These are all lawsuits. They think they're gonna trick me out of the streets. You understand what I'm saying? They wasn't saying my name when we was giving dudes the beats every day. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna choose one of you guys.
There he goes, going back when we was giving people the beats. There it goes back to violence. If the issue's over what you say and what you're talking about, show and prove what you got to fight for. You 50. Why is anybody past the age of 23 trying to go around fighting people? Why is it? Look, that might even be a little bit too old, but why is anybody past the age of 23 still trying to go ahead and fight people? Nigga, niggas got shit to lose. And like my dad said, always told me, you want to fight. You don't know what that next nigga want to do. So it's best you don't find out, especially when you get grown.
Who got a podcast? How much cap I'm working with?
Heard that? I'm going to come in with $2 million in jewelry to show how much I be capping. Joe, grow up. And this isn't even about, let's remove this from Joe. Let's remove this part from Joe. This goes for a lot of men and women. When you equate your value to a material object, whether that be a $500 bag, $200 Jordans, a $400,000 Cullinan, $54,000 courtside seats, $2 million in jewelry, $20 million house. No matter what it is, you lost already. You are a whole human being. You have the ability to love, the ability to touch. You got the 5 senses of touch, taste, smell, vision. I miss touch, taste, smell, vision. And I'm missing one. Tactile. I'm missing one of the senses. I'm high. You see, I done smoked 2 of these already. Anyway, but you got the more than the 5 senses. You got the sense of love, the sense of community, the sense of family, connections. Hearing. The only non-voluntary sound. Funny, how did I miss hearing? That's the only non-voluntary sense. You cannot choose what to hear. You can choose what to see, you can choose what to touch, you can choose what to taste, you can somewhat choose what to smell, but you cannot choose what to hear. That's why music is so precious, and that's why I talk about music so much. It's the only involuntary sense. But you got all this beauty in life, and you say you're gonna walk in with $2 million in jewelry. Well, let me tell you something, Fat Joe. We ever do a podcast together? Because I debate you. You know what I'm gonna look at if I saw $2 million in jewelry? First off, my thought is gonna be that's just costume jewelry, and that's gonna be my first thought is fake. My second thought gonna be if it is real, what a goddamn fool this is to have a $2 million of jewelry that if you needed to pass this to melt it down, and you come up on hard times, you'd be lucky if you get 400,000. That's what I'ma say. I know the cheap shit that they be putting in these jewelries in this jewelry and give it to rappers and athletes. So the first thing I'm gonna say if you walk in with $2 million in jewelry is, what kind of fool am I dealing with right now? Who the fuck will spend $2 million on $250,000 worth of jewelry? And why would you put all this shit on with all these hungry people in the world? I ain't gonna rob you. I don't believe in stealing. But I'm also well fed. Got a steak I'm gonna put on the grill when I'm done with this motherfucker. So I ain't hungry. But it's a lot of hungry people out there. Why the fuck would you wear that? Why in the hell would you walk into a world of wolves with a steak around your neck? Appreciate the super chat, Eric Cummings, putting in that work. I appreciate that, Eric Cummings. Much love. Village brother. Let me see. Appreciate the super chat. He said, saying it applies to Joe. Wisdom has been chasing him, but sadly he keeps eluding it. Right. You come in with $2 million worth of jewelry around me. I'm thinking like, man, why? I think personally, Fat Joe, and this is not real talk. This is real talk, y'all. I personally think, Fat Joe, your ability to rhyme, your natural charisma you have around people, your ability to connect, and a lot of people got love for you in the game, obviously. Jadakiss sitting right there next to you, and most people love you in the game. That's far more valuable than anything you can put around your neck. But you so out of touch with yourself, you walking away from what makes you great into something that's going to damage you long term. Value and possessions outside of yourself. That's some life game I'm giving you if you listening. Let's keep going.
And we're going to sit there and I want to see you break down the cat. Because, you know, that's how I feel. That's it. I'm going to do it. One of you going to be a lucky contender and you're going to have a couple of more followers than no.
See how you already got shit on people more than 2 aunts and your cousin. All right.
No. And so it's hard being number one, but everybody got to do it.
Who's talking about being number one while talking about challenging people with lesser podcasts, but you won't talk to Lord Jamar? That's interesting.
The success shot at you. I like the success shot at you.
No, success shot.
And don't get, you know what I mean, don't let that shit bother you. On the radar, but we on the radar.
So that's what he was talking about. It was a part that I missed though.
Garbage. Did you ever seen the dumpster in the yes, you know, we need a number one. We went number one on Apple.
Talking about being number one, nigga. You got Cam and Mace. Y'all not even number one in New York, bruh. You got 100 miles of running to go to touch Cam and Mace. Oh man, wrong one. I hit the wrong button. There we go. I hit the mute button instead of this button. But how long, chat room, do y'all give Fat Joe before he slip up and say nigga out of turn? Either with a hard ER or out of context. Out of the context, he should be using it. How long do y'all give him, Fat Joe? How long do y'all give Fat Joe? How long do y'all give him? Over under 10 episodes. For him to put his foot in his mouth and say something that we Black Americans don't like. How long? Oh, and also while you're here, make sure you hit the share button. We are going to be having another show tomorrow breaking down the failure of Elon Musk. And then Dr. Short will be on Patreon tomorrow. All right? Y'all say 10? Y'all say 10? Dr. Short will be on Patreon tomorrow. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to go to my chat to create a poll over here, but this shit moving crazy slow on my side. Make sure y'all hit the like button. You say 6 months, Biz Marty? Herschel Reed said 3 to 4 more episodes. Latriba says under 10. All right. I got too many windows open. Let me close all these windows. But that's what it is. I want to see what y'all think. Call in. Oh, no, hold on. Man, damn it, Dewan. I did not open Teams. I like to open Teams before I start because ever since he's down these updates, Teams be tripping. Don't call in yet. Don't call in yet. But we will be opening the lines in about 5 minutes. We'll be opening lines in about 5 minutes. So to put a button really on this whole Cap Joe situation, Fat Joe, I don't know if you capped or not about what you say about what you did in rap. Me personally, if you say it, I believe it. I ain't the kind of person I'm not in New York. I especially wasn't around in the 90s on the scene like that. So if you say you did something in the 90s and this regarding music, I personally believe it. Because why would you lie? But when producers who were close to Biggie call that cap, when his friends, the people who are around him, and it's more than one person saying the same thing, given your history of lying and exaggerating, I'm probably going to believe the people that are calling you a cap, especially if they were in the industry around like you were too at that time. If people like Lord Jamar, who's very credible, challenge you to a debate and you ignore that, but you want to come to a podcast with 3 people on it, as you say, I question that. And that's just natural. What else am I supposed to do? So, again, that's why we have these conversations like we having today. Because too many people throughout the years have been able to come over into black culture and say what they want to say, drop all the lies they want to drop, cap all they want to cap, and there's nothing that happens. There's no counter narrative. Well, we here now creating a counter narrative. Now the phone lines are open. 323-744-7425. Call it right now, especially if you disagree. If you got something to say, or even if you do agree. Call in 323-219-80. No, I'm sorry, 744-7425. I'm over here looking at this customer service line that I have on his website right here. 323-744-7425. Call in right now. Let me know what you think, because like my thing is this, and this isn't just a Fat Joe thing. This is a 90s hip hop thing. Remember, if you notice, it was really the 90s that really brought in valuing material possessions, valuing hoes and clothes, valuing all the bullshit over manhood. Not to say those things, we've always loved things. We've always loved materials. We all have. but when you make it your identity. See, when Marvin Gaye was talking that bullshit, the song was called Ego Tripping. This song was an ego trip. It wasn't called anything. Let me see. Where is it at? Remember this song by Marvin Gaye?
I want to have
Where you rapping?
down with me.
Here we go.
I got the baddest cool, could never be the fool. The ladies wait to get down with me. The love I make superb, to doubt me.
To doubt me is absurd. That song was called Ego Tripping. It wasn't saying that's how you should always act in all situations. That song was talking about how you talk when you in your ego. Marvin wasn't saying be like that every day, Cap'n Joe. I appreciate that, Latriva Lawson, for the super chat, for the cash app. Appreciate it. But all of y'all out there, the Black American Music Family Tree, if you want a signed version, email me info@thewamb.com. I'm only going to sign a few of them. I'm not going to sign too many. I'm only going to sign a few. Email me info@thewamb.com. Email me info@thewamb.com for a signed copy of the Black American Music Family Tree. And also, come on over to thewamb.com, get your Juneteenth t-shirts and your Black American, June is Black American Music Month. Oh shit, I got the thing stuff here. Get that at thewamb.com. All right. All right, so yeah, Joe Capping. Let's see what y'all said in the chat. Funny said, he said, Cash Money, No Limit, Usher in Cars, Clothes, Hoes in the 90s. Yeah. Well, Cash Money, Bad Boy. Cash Money and Bad Boy. That was a Cash Money and a Bad Boy thing. And in to a lesser extent, Uptown, the Ghetto Fab era, yeah. That era, oh shit, I got 2 missed calls, my bad. Call back, caller. Whoever that was, call back. 323-744-7425. I'm over here telling y'all to call in and I'm not answering calls. Oh yeah, Jay-Z, yeah. Was it Rockefeller? All that. Yeah, Jadakiss, I don't know. He said Jadakiss. I don't know. Do y'all think that Jadakiss know the level of heat Fat Joe's been getting online the last year or so? Do you think he understands that? And if he did understand it, do you think he still would have said yeah to the podcast? Well, it's money. I don't see why he say no. What's up, caller? What's the name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Dewan? B-Man, B1 to the whole chat. Hey, man, this deep in the land. Hey, I don't really think Jadakiss really know the extent of the scrutiny that Fat Joe going through out here, man, with the Foundation of Black American movement. You know what I'm saying? It's a lineage, man. It's not a group. It's an ethnic group. And Jadakiss got to understand, though, all that anti-black rhetoric that he been spitting out, man, about the NBA, he gonna catch a lot of heat. I just don't want Jadakiss because he one of him and Styles P, the whole lot. They one of my favorite groups, man. I just don't want him to catch no strays, man. Being with this wannabe conquistador. You know what I'm saying? Talking about talking about you you help, 50-50. Ain't no 50-50 my ass. You can 50-50 your ass on that deportation plane. You know what I'm saying? We ain't playing no games out here, man. We claiming our lineage, man. We gatekeeping our culture, man. And anybody that's going against that, if you're a melanated tether, you gonna catch some strays. So we getting Westmore. Yeah, no doubt. We getting Westmore out of office too with his tether ass.
Yeah, get that motherfucker up out of here. Thanks, man. Yes, sir, man. He right, man. We ain't got time for all that BS. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, man, this is Eastgate coming from Harlem.
AC from Harlem. What's on your mind?
Hey, yo, Fat Joe, man, he's one of those rich guys who always got to bring their money into the pocket. It ain't about nothing else but what I got. That's all he's bragging about, man. I don't like him because he dissed the FBAs, and I don't even know why Jadakiss sitting there with him. I guess he just want to check. And you just got to let him blow air, man. There's some guys that just talk, man. Talk, man. Yo, shout out to all those guys on the West Coast, and I love your show, man. Keep up the good work.
Man, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks.
That's what's up.
Yeah, he coming in, Fat Joe coming in with that elitism shit. You know what I mean? And let's tell the truth about Jadakiss. And Jadakiss is one of the greatest rappers of all time as far as his ability to rap. If you're just going to remove subject, content matter, all that stuff out, and just say ability to rap, Jadakiss is top tier. But let's just tell the truth. Jadakiss is one of the greatest at rapping about nothing. All right? Let's never conflate Jadakiss with the rappers that have something to say, an actual message in their music. Let's not conflate the two. Maybe he don't care how Fat Joe is being perceived by people because maybe, and I don't know this is true, he's just me throwing scenarios out there. Maybe Jadakiss just might be in a place right now in his life to where he's just like, the people who aren't going at Fat Joe, he don't give two fucks about them. You gotta realize, a lot of us, we gotta remember this, people. Those of us sticking up for our lineage, for the most part, we are still the minority. We're not the norm in black society yet. It's getting there. We're getting to critical mass. We're almost at critical mass. But we're not quite at critical mass yet. Somebody say he's in Hollywood. No, he's in New York. This podcast is filmed in New York. Don't put that on Hollywood. Do not put that on Hollywood. That nigga Rocky over there knocked out. Yeah, you got bills of it. Again, I'm not mad. Look, people pay your bills, whatever. Here's the only reason why I brought that up. I brought that up because each time I brought this up, there's been a lot of us saying that, man, what about now? Jadakiss needs to know better. Maybe people asking Jadakiss to know better than what's going on with Fat Joe. Maybe you're asking too much. I don't know Jadakiss, so I can't say yay or nay. She said, Key Prince says Jadakiss does a lot for our community and incarcerated brothers. That's cool. I'm generally not one to be bought off by what people do because most of that game right there, most of that is game, tax shelter game. And I get it's good too, and I support anybody doing anything for anybody, from any community. I'm never going to diss that. But I'm going to still stick to whatever, is the subject at hand. That's what somebody did isn't necessarily going to be enough for me to really sidetrack me off what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But I get it. I ain't tripping. Yeah, Jada just might be who he is. I'm not want to tell people they need to change. If Jadakiss is the kind of person that's disconnected from what's going on and from what our reality is. His reality is something different. And you gotta allow people to live in their reality. But the downside of that is the other not downside, the other side of that is live your reality all you want. I'm watching. Oh, that's your reality? Okay. Don't change for me. I just know that, okay, that's your reality. Cool. I know where to put you and I keep pushing. But I ain't tripping. Like I said, people get to be who they want to be around me. I don't care. I'm not one to judge people and tell them what they should and shouldn't be, and shouldn't do, or what they should and shouldn't fight for. People fight for whatever the hell they want to fight for. I don't care. I'm too busy getting around like-minded people that I want to be around. You know. But I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Dewan? This April calling from Jersey.
April from Jersey. What's on your mind?
What I wanted to say was I definitely agree with you. I definitely think that you are on point. However, Jadakiss has already made it clear to everyone that he's not an internet person. He only deals with it as far as it has to do with his so-called brand. So he doesn't even realize what's going on right now. You know what I mean? He has no idea. Yeah, he has no idea. But what you said about it being a 9 of Hearts year, I think it's going to all come to fruition because I can't see him. From what I know about him personally, he does seem to live by a code. So I can't see anything coming out and being disparaging about us that he's down with. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, it's a 9 of Hearts year, so we're going to have to wait and see. But I was the one who typed that he needs 10 or more episodes to let loose because he need to get real comfortable. That's the type of spirit he is.
And Fat Joe overtalk him every goddamn time. Every time Jadakiss going to make a point, Fat Joe, yeah, no, pizza. Shut up. God damn, let the man get his thoughts off.
Dewan said pizza.
That's what it sound like. Man, fuck. I'm to put one in the...
Yo, but you know what? You're right about that. He does dominate the conversation every time, though. And I've only seen that brother looking at clips. I haven't even watched the full show yet.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
That's telling.
It's going to be Jadakiss trying to get off a thought, and about 7 words into that sentence, it's going to be Fat Joe. Yeah. New York, Bronx, pizza. Shut up.
No, he ain't gonna be saying pizza. He gonna be saying empanadas.
Right. Goya.
Sofrito.
Right, dude.
I land my plane, bro. It's nice to hear you, Dewan. Keep it coming, bro.
All right, have a good one. I appreciate my people from New York and Jersey. Y'all see here, I'm not a complete New York hater. I got New York. I had Harlem calling earlier. I just want us to get our shit in order. That's all. I did a whole episode a couple weeks ago calling out LA podcast. I don't give a fuck. I saw that article talking about Atlanta is no longer, y'all see the article saying that Atlanta is no longer majority black? Did y'all see that? And Fox 5 in Atlanta reported Atlanta is no longer was one of the hardest hit cities due to gentrification. displacing black people. This is something that I talked about for a long time. I love Atlanta. I've been there plenty of times. I'm going to be back in Atlanta, I think, towards the end of the summer. But Atlanta been too busy twerking and buying goddamn niggas buying S classes. When you got enough money for an E class, you buying the S class. When you got enough money for an S class, you buying Rolls Royces. And y'all, and then a whole bunch of niggas in dresses and shit. And now they got pushed up off and displaced out the city. You took out, brought and voted in people like Fonnie Willis and all them goddamn Democrats that all they do is sell out black people. And look what happened. They sold out y'all city. Telling y'all, man, they'll do it to you every time. What's up, Carter? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, brothers from Queens, New York? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right, brother, you know. How you feeling today?
Man, I'm not here to discuss my feelings. What's on your mind?
All right. That was the first thing in my mind. But the second thing is that somebody should go to the Fat Joe, that podcast, and somebody should be real enough to put that dude in his place, brother.
Man.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I got to say, man. If you from the streets, if you really hood, or whatever it is, because you know what? Look, by the end of the day, even if you're not from the streets, if you keep it real, you still gangsta as it is. So somebody got to go out there, bro, and just lay it out how it is, how things are, bro. I can't stand that. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say, brother.
I hate, man. Thanks for giving us a call, my man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like with Fat Joe, it's like he gotta, you know, like he said, it's not about being gangster. It's not about being gangster, but it is about standing on your square. You know what I mean? Like the caller just said, it's about, you know, that's Fat Joe's podcast. I respect it. You know what I mean? I respect everybody's space that they want to say. But he called our podcast, so I gotta talk about it. And I know I'll be one of the main ones talking about Fat Joe be capping. So I said, yep, I'll be saying that. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Duan. It's me, Nandy, your mod. How you doing?
I'm good. What's on your mind?
Listen, I've been very curious about this. I've been studying hip hop for a while over the years, and I read the book that KRS wrote about the Temple of Hip Hop, and it's a thick Bible. It's a book about as thick as a Bible. I think that was the theme when he wrote it. And for a while, we speak in months, he had Sunday classes on YouTube to go over the book. Now I'm with pen, paper, notes in hand. This is a while back now. Every Sunday, I'm in class with KRS-One going over this book, this Bible, this hip-hop Bible. There's no mention in that thick book, is yay thick. There's no mention about Latinos co-creating hip-hop 50-50 in the early 70s. Mm-hmm. I'm like, so why is it in that book? Okay. And then later on, I read his brother's book, Kenny Parker, his memoir. There's no mention of Latinos co-creating hip-hop in his memoir. Mm-hmm. I'm like, And I read Black Dot's book, Hip Hop Decoded. He's from the Bronx. No such mention in that book. Not that Black Dot is espousing the stuff now. No, I'm just giving you insight into how many books I read on hip hop. There's no mention of these. Now, I don't know if they're going to do a volume 2 or the second edition. I'm talking about the first edition. Mm-hmm. There's no mention of that in these books. I'm like, okay. And then I was raised in Spanish Harlem. We only lived there for 11 months, but I was there in the 70s as a little girl. There's no rap coming out of any Spanish apartment in the 70s. And on 3rd Avenue, the stores, there's no hip-hop or rap in those stores where you go get your food and you shop. I'm like, I don't understand how could this even be plausible to any Gen X that lived in New York during the 70s. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So Jadakiss, here's what I'm getting to with politics. I have a friend, I won't say his name, but he works in the Bronx for the city. And he loves hip hop, he's Gen X, and he's like, I think this is political. I really believe, I'm not saying that I know this is just a theory, that they are given, I don't want to say money, but they're given some sort of something to be able to come out and say, yes, we agree with FBA, we're Gen X, we're Native New Yorkers, and we believe, yes, that they co-created hip-hop to 250. I believe this is some sort of political exchange behind the scenes, and that's my take on it.
I think that's a very plausible point of view because honestly, I don't see what else. You know what I mean? Why else? Because this all came out of nowhere in and around the pandemic. You know, it was around a little before it. I started noticing hearing trickles of it, 18, 19. But when the pandemic hit, when we were all home, that's when this shit flooded. And it was like, do you understand these people are still alive? What's going on? And a lot of it has been in alignment with that hip hop history museum. That's you see like this, you know, that's connected to Africa Bambaataa. It's connected to Rock Nation, like the hip hop museum in New York. That's a very highly funded museum, and where the big dollars go is where the propaganda comes. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of times the best museums be your mom and pop museums on the side. When you go to the big names, the Getty, the big stuff, oftentimes with those big checks comes big propaganda, and you know, so you got a good point.
Yeah, and that's it. I have a lot of respect for Karis One's thick book, that Temple Bible. So no disrespect to his writing prowess. His brother's book is good, but in being intelligent in that respect with that thick book, it would have been in there.
It would have been.
You know what I mean? And again, I didn't read this on my own, alone at home with coffee, like I usually curl up with my books. He had a class every Sunday on YouTube to go over the book. Never mentioned it. And I'm like, I think they're relying on people who don't read these books to believe that it was 50-50 with the Latinos. Yeah, because if you read these books, you'd be like, no, it's not in these books.
Yeah, it's not in the books.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us a call.
Peace.
Yeah, she's right. Like, they're sending these people out here on the internet to lie, and they're using familiar faces to do it. But black folks, this is what you get when you get we all in this together. You get displacement, and this broke my heart too. I remember my first time going to Atlanta, 2003 or 4, sometime around there when I was in college, and just thinking like, man, this is so goddamn beautiful. All these beautiful black people, and then I went to the Lenox Square Mall and saw them fun boys walking around with their asses popped out and they wrist bent. And I was like, get me the fuck out of here. That was before Uber. I left that mall so goddamn fast and went down to the underground tunnel. Anyway, what's his name? What's up, Carter? What's his name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jamal, man, calling from South Carolina.
Jamal from South Carolina. What's on your mind?
Yeah, man. Hell, I was in Atlanta about 2-3 months ago. I think they're on the Buckhead end. I think I'm saying that right. Kind of towards downtown. I saw a bunch of fancy cars with niggas in it. I saw a bunch of jewelry with niggas in it. And most of the businesses, like you said, and like everybody else said, was owned and ran by white people and other ethnicities. You know what I'm saying? And that was kind of disturbing to see, thinking going to Atlanta. You know, I'm from South Carolina, but I don't go to Atlanta like that. So when I do go, you know, I haven't been in years. And 10, 15 years ago, it was popping with black businesses. And the other thing with Fat Joe and Jadakiss, man, I remember the time I just turned 30 Sunday. So 5 years ago, probably a couple years before the pandemic, when we still had the guy Dick Gregory with us, when we still had Paul Mooney with us.
Yeah.
And when the whole YouTube was turned into black, man, probably around 2014, 2015, that's when I started seeing everything. Before Brother Polite had his little deal, you start running into these guys, man. And once the brother Dick Gregory left, once Paul Mooney left, then we ran into other guys that we didn't know about on the East Coast, like you, like Craig, and these other guys that been putting in the work a long time that we didn't know about. Man, somehow in the midst of social media being at its height, we're falling short of that, and it's coming to I don't want to say a civil war between black folks, man, but it's the Sambo against the Uncle Tom. And somebody got to stand up. Somebody got to stand up to people like Fat Joe instead of, no pun intended, Diddy and shit. But when it come down to another FBA or whatever you want to call it, we got more heat for another nigga than a Fat Joe or you know what I'm saying? These other cats.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey man, you know, and it's sad to see. But my last point, I know you got to go. My last point is keep doing your shit, Dewan. Like I said, I ran into you watching Craig, and our whole deal with Craig, the real know the real, and the real spot out the real. Keep doing your thing. Guys like Corey, people can't take a joke, but they can't see the brilliance underneath the joke, and they can't understand why certain people aren't the way they are. You got to stop sucking these entertainers and sucking quote unquote Hollywood dick and just do your own thing, man. That's all it is. People quote and say we're free now, but they still looking for what a handout, and they still looking for the acceptance from mammy, so you can say. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I want to
yeah.
say to you, keep doing your shit. I'm learning all my music from you, man. Hey, I got a grandfather who died at 100. So that old blues, he was best friends with B.B. King. So the story, and you the key, Dewan. You the key. Fuck all the extra shit. Keep doing you. It's gonna get out to the people. I'm in Little South Carolina, in a small country town. It's gonna get there. Keep doing your thing. Love you, man. Love you, guys.
I appreciate that, man. You have a good one, brother. Likewise.
Yes, sir.
Sir. Yeah, I got love for all you motherfuckers out there, for real, for real. I got love for anybody that has spent time with me on this podcast. It's the most important thing you have in your possession is your time. That's the most expensive thing. That's the one thing that cannot be paid for. You know, it's one thing you cannot get back is time. So if somebody spends time with me, whether you agree with me or disagree, I'm going to educate. And the education is neutral. Even if you disagree with the education, it's going to be there for you to circle back when you done with out your feelings and want to come back to what it is. It's going to still be there. I ain't trying to just come here, y'all spend time with me and that's it. You leave and you don't feel a little bit different than you did before. Nah, we ain't got time for all that. But Fat Joe, how old is Fat Joe? Fat Joe is born in 1970, so he's 54. See, Fat Joe is at 7 of clubs. That's his card, which is a card of war. So I see why Fat Joe is Fat Joe's a confrontational guy because he was born confrontational. I'm sure people who've been knowing him his whole life will say he's been confrontational on some ways. But the 7th club is also someone that's very charismatic. They're charismatically confrontational. That's a 7 of clubs. 5 of diamonds in Mercury, that means you don't know what the nigga gonna say. I see why he's so judgmental. He has that Queen of Spades in his Venus. Venus is where your judgment lies, and the Queen of Spades is the absolute most judgmental card in the deck. Jack of clubs, that's the liar card in his Mars. So that's where he can basically, he'll say whatever needs to be said. The Jack of clubs in Mars, that means he'll say whatever needs to be said to get whatever he wants. Okay? 9 of diamonds. Yeah, Fat Joe. But the thing about Fat Joe is, I'm looking into his cards. He's not a bad guy at all. Not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. Age 54. Where you at 54, Fat Joe? What was this card again? 7 of clubs. So where is he at this year? Where's that? Do y'all see the 7 of clubs? Where is it at? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. No, I'm sorry. Plate 54. Okay. There we go. Okay, he right here. Okay. This is actually a pretty good year for him to launch that podcast. His Venus is in the... Okay. Yeah, Fat Joe. It's a lot of shit going on with you right here. I see some shit in this cards that I'm not going to talk about because I have a code of ethics when I pull up people's cards. There's certain shit that I see that I do not say online. So let me get out them cards real quick because I just saw some of that brother's cards that I don't want to talk about online. Because even though I don't know him, don't necessarily ain't the biggest fan of him, I still don't spread bullshit. One thing you do not do with cards, one thing you don't do is expose people's shit. That, you don't do that. Like them, don't like them. Never use the power to be able to do something like read cards and read astrology, numerology, whatever it is. Man, don't ever use that to even bring a hint of harm, even the perception of harm to anybody, even if you don't like them. Them cards are meant to help people grow. But I just saw some shit that But what I need y'all to do is email me. I'm giving away a very limited amount of signed Black American Music Family Trees. Also, my reports. If you want to report, the reports are live now on breakthroughcards.com. If you go to breakthroughcards.com, you order one right now at breakthroughcards.com. What you'll do is you'll go up to products. Actually, you'll hit more. Actually, you go to products. That's what you do. Products, you get to see which report you want. Your life report, your yearly report, and this breaks down what it is. And we also have packages. If you go to packages, over where it says more, and you can bundle them, 3, 4, or 4 blueprint. It's a lot cheaper if you get them all 3 bundled, all right? You can go to breakthroughcardsrightnow.com for that. Because what I'm doing is, y'all, I tried to do let me tell y'all something real quick. This channel, just a little channel maintenance before we get up out of here. For those of you who love to support the channel, I tried to do a raffle. I'm raising some funds. I got some kids. I got a couple kids that I want to do some music classes with, but I know their families can't afford it. And so I'm raising some money right now to put together some stuff that's going to cover my costs to where I can do some of my music teaching with some kids that can't afford it. So I'm trying to do a fundraiser right now, but state law won't allow me to do a raffle. I looked that up. I had that shit all ready to go, but state law said, California, I can't do a raffle with y'all. Not until my nonprofit is not until my foundation is completely approved by the IRS. I have a foundation, but it's not. I'm still going through the whole IRS process. So until that's done, I can't do raffles. But I might do an auction. I don't know. Give me some ideas you guys may have. But I'm trying to raise some money for these to do this sort of like this camp with these kids with musically. Not a camp, but over Zoom. But I don't want to charge them. And if you donate, you can send it through Cash App. And if you want to be a part of it, email me. And if you have any children or youngsters that you want to be a part of it, they'll be included. You can donate to help other kids out, and whatever other kids you have in your environment that you want to be a part of this music history class. I'm doing another music history class that's tailored just for kids. Okay. You can email me to see how you can play a part of that. You can Cash at me, but if you want to be a donor, you could also include whatever kids that you have in your environment. They'll be included. Okay. No, I'm not. No, you don't have to live in California. I'm doing this one by Zoom. This is gonna be like a Zoom camp to where we teach kids about the history of Black music. And I'm gonna make it fun for kids. But I want to do it during the summertime when they're out of school. I want to do it during the summertime. Or I might just charge for it and then leave a donation tip, a tip jar for the kids who can't afford it. I think I might do both ways. You could send me donations, or I'm just doing charge for it and then leave a tip jar for the people. Because I'm not going to turn any kids away. That's what I'm not going to do. but those who can't afford it. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. I wanted to do a raffle, but state law won't allow me to. So, but I do want to do this, do some stuff tailored to the kids. But I don't want kids whose parents can't afford it to not just to tell them no, you know? So I think that's what I might do. I might just charge for it and then leave a tip jar for those who want to help out, and then for those who don't have any kids that want to be a part of this, I'll just give you guys. You guys can just donate. All right. All right. Because I have a foundation that I'm setting up. I have a foundation that I'm literally in the works of putting together now, so I can give tax deductible. Because once my foundation is open, I can give you guys the tax deductible part. Then we are running right now, but it takes months for the IRS to like my foundation. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all. Look, my foundation's open. Look, my foundation's open, but I'm just going through the process of getting the final stuff, and that takes months for the IRS to communicate to you. I wanted to have everything open by the summertime, but we're not gonna. It looks like it's gonna take a little bit longer. So if you donate, it will not be tax deductible yet. But once this gets open, all your donations are gonna be tax deductible. That's the bamfamilytree.org. Y'all can go look at my website, bamfamilytree.org. That's my website, bamfamilytree.org. That's for the people, and let's tell them what we're building over here, all right? I made that website myself. All right? We got to correct this shit. The discount code for Logical Mail thing, email me. Because I have my discounts are on Patreon. But email me. And if you're part of the email chain, you'll get it also. But yeah, but go and get a card. Get the card readings. Anything you do right now, if you do a card reading, if you do buy anything you buy right now, whether it be a card reading, my Black American t-shirts, all that stuff, all this stuff is what I'm dumping in so I can teach this stuff to some to the chillins this summer, all right? Become a Patreon. Tomorrow on Patreon, tomorrow on YouTube, we're going to talk about the fall of Elon Musk. And then at 3 p.m. tomorrow Pacific, 6 Eastern, Dr. Randy Short is going to be on Patreon going in. If you're part of Patreon earlier today, I did a video on Beethoven and Barry White, the connection between Bach and Barry White, the connection between that, people like drawing that connection between classical music and classic R&B. That dropped on Patreon today, and I got another video on Patreon, music history, dropping on Thursday. So Patreon is hella active. All right? But if you want a reading, a Logical Mail things, just email me, and we'll talk directly, all right? All right? So I'll holler at y'all later. Remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. If you can't stand that tether, Elon Musk, you're going to want to be around tomorrow, Chris Armstrong, because that motherfucker is falling right in front of our face. So I want to be here on the front row to talk about it. Because y'all remember, when I pulled the cards on Elon Musk, what did I say in January? No, in January, before they took office, I said Elon Musk will be out of here by late spring. Pull up the video. Dr. Short said March, I said May-ish. May, June. He's going to be out of here at the end of the month. All right. Thank y'all again for listening. We out.